Good afternoon and welcome to Winchester News Online. I'm Emily Byway. Coming up today, Winchester remembers on the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust. The Winchester branch of WH Smith's is at risk of closure. And the Winchester futsal team play their first away game of the year. This week marks 80 years since the liberation of Auschwitz-Birkenau. Winchester Cathedral held a candlelight memorial. Francesca Pritchard has more.
Today marks 80 years since the liberation of Auschwitz. It is a vitally important day today to commemorate the thousands of lives lost to the horrific events of the Holocaust.
Principles that we learn from history can help us to avoid making the same mistakes again going forward into the future. So remembering the dates of the Holocaust I don't think is terribly important. Learning the lessons from it I think is vital.
On the 27th of January, people across the nation lit candles and put them safely in their windows to remember those who were murdered for who they were.
I think it's important to remember the people who lost their lives in Holocaust.
The Holocaust threatened the very fabric of civilization. And today, 80 years on, we must still resist discrimination and persecution in our world. Each year, Holocaust Memorial Day brings together people from across the UK to learn more about the past and work to build a better future. Here in Winchester, it is no different.
I think especially in a city as inclusive as this, we've got to represent all communities and continue to remember the history to make sure it doesn't happen again. And I think a city like this is a great example of that inclusivity that we need more in this country.
Third-year students at the University of Winchester have worked closely with Blue Apple Theatre over the past few months to produce a short film to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Holocaust.
It's very important to express all the stories and everything that happened during that time, that awful time, and especially with this project that I've done, telling the story of people with learning disabilities is so important because you don't really hear about that.
During the events of the Holocaust, 17 million people, including men, women and children, were systematically murdered by the Nazis. Now, 80 years on, people remember those lives, both internationally and locally, whether it be visiting Auschwitz and other camps, or holding memorial services, like here in Winchester. Francesca Pritchard, Winchester News Online.
With Winchester City Council introducing recycling schemes last year, sustainable changes are something the council is hoping to prioritise in 2025. In the studio to talk us through it is our politics reporter, Jade Edwards-Lowe.
Thank you, Emily. Well, following recycling schemes being rolled out across Winchester mid-last year, Winchester Council is now hoping to roll out food waste bins alongside the glass waste and compost by March. The council is stressing sustainability is one of their top priorities in 2025, and they're still aiming for zero waste by 2030.
That sounds like a step in the right direction. What other plans are the council hoping to set in action?
Well, the council's mixing things up when it comes to transport. They're hoping to remove diesel buses on key routes by April, with electric buses taking their place. They said that if this goes well, they'll hope to roll it out on other routes as well. Additionally, there's a green corridor for the A34 that's in recent discussions now, which will include a walking or cycling route alongside the road.
So how can people get involved in these discussions?
Well, there's a meeting at Guildhall on the 30th of January this week at 6:30, and the subsequent week of the 6th of February at 6:30 as well. People are encouraged to talk about transport, sustainability and any ideas they have that the council should implement.
Thank you for the insight, Jade. If you would like to find more information regarding the plans and dates of these future meetings, please check on the Winchester City Council website. During Storm Eowyn, yellow wind and rain warnings were issued for Hampshire. As some warnings remain in place for the UK and people evacuate their homes, Maeve Corbett is here to talk us through the storms.
While people in California are battling wildfires, we are facing gale force winds and torrential rain. Over the weekend, Storm Éowyn wreaked havoc across the UK and Ireland, with the Met Office issuing many red and amber weather warnings in Scotland and Northern Ireland. And then, just hours later, Storm Herminia struck the Isles with what one ex-user called chaos with relentless rain. Met Office Chief Meteorologist Paul Gunderson says that they only reserve the issuings of red warnings for the most severe weather cases that can represent a danger to life or severe disruption, and they said that's just the case with Storm Éowyn.
Probably kept me awake at night a little bit because the wind has been so loud blowing around the rooftops.
Oh, you had a little bit of a leak, yeah. The wind going horizontal rain, I think.
Key Street in Lymington was heavily flooded and trees were struck down across the country, including here in Winchester. As for the forecast, for here in Winchester, the rest of the day we'll see lots of clouds and overcast with steady temperatures. Wednesday will start off a bit clearer in the morning, but we will likely see rain again towards the afternoon and evening. Then, with the end of the week, we'll hopefully be seeing some more sunshine, but steady temperatures of about 8 degrees. Wind for today is calming down as well, but be careful of some higher speed gusts. But even though it's calming down today, who knows what the next storm will bring. Maeve Corbett, Winchester News Online.
The firm behind retailer WH Smith's are in talks to sell their high street stores, including the branch here in Winchester. Lenny Teague went into the city centre to see how people feel about the potential closures, both nationwide and in their own city.
WH Smith has revealed it could be putting its 500 high street stores up for sale. The business confirmed in a press release that it is exploring potential strategic options for its high street stores with a possible sale discussed. While WH Smith assured there was no certainty whether an agreement will be reached, the people of Winchester still did not take kindly to the news.
Well, I was initially very sad to hear that because WH Smith has always been a high street store ever since I was a young kid, or probably before that.
I think it would be a great shame. I think it's invaluable to the people in Winchester.
The Winchester branch also includes the local post office, and with that being the only one near the city centre, the potential closure of that has not been well received.
It's going to have a terrible effect, especially on old people who don't do proper banking, internet banking and stuff. They come and draw their pensions at the post office, they do postal orders for their grandchildren, stuff like that, you know.
I spoke to the Winchester store's area manager, but he was unwilling to provide a further comment. WH Smith has been a mainstay on British high streets for over 200 years. The Winchester branch opened almost a century ago, and it has served the city's consumers well. However, with the future of the business in doubt, it may not be here for much longer. Lenny Teague, Winchester News Online.
A leaked Home Office review implied that the UK's approach to extremism should be widened to other concerning behaviours, including violence towards women, the spread of misinformation and conspiracy theories. The Home Secretary disagrees and believes the focus should remain on Islamists and far-right movements. The peregrine falcon has returned to Winchester. The bird of prey's return was anticipated and caught on camera by Winchester Cathedral. You can follow the nesting season with their ongoing live stream. Today, a big decision was made for the people of Winchester following a forum last week. The public raised issues regarding charities, financial difficulties and flying rats. Isabel Jones reports.
Winchester is to establish a brand new town council. This follows on from the recent town forum that took place last week. The forum lasted an hour and a half and it raised many issues that the people of Winchester experience daily. Winchester, it is currently formed of parish councils. This means that segments of the city have their own local authorities, yet the centre is without. The establishment of a town council was confirmed today. So, do you know the difference between a parish council and a town council?
Well, I would say I'm not entirely sure.
No, not really, no.
Parishes are all over the place, so you've got parish councils in a rural community as well as in an urban setting. Town is a specific thing.
Were you aware that central Winchester doesn't have a parish council?
I think I probably was. It has a city council, doesn't it? So I'm not sure that a parish council is absolutely necessary in Winchester.
Birds or vermin? Residents have been complaining quite a bit about pigeon poo.
I'm particularly interested in the proposals to deal with the pigeon droppings, which affect the structure and are both unsightly and harmful. the years, I've regularly raised the issue of feral pigeons in the city centre and the harm they do. Feral pigeons are classed as vermin and are often referred to as flying rats.
Well, let's hope that the Town Council will be able to resolve this pigeon problem. Isabel Jones, Winchester News Online.
Many smaller railway stations across the southwest cannot provide refreshments. However, one small cafe in a small Hampshire village has put itself on the map, serving both commuters and its local community for 2 years. Travel correspondent Kieran Tibbett has more.
There's nothing quite like grabbing a quick bite to eat before a long train journey, and One Station Cafe in Hampshire is marking 2 years of service.
Shawford's Platform 1 Cafe, located beside the station, celebrates its 2nd-year anniversary of being open, and it continues to play a large role in the local community.
People like what we do, and people like to have a place, a meeting place, a community space where we can be friendly and approachable and reasonably priced and have a good products. Community love the fact that if there is any distraction as well, they have a warm place to be. They can have a coffee. They can start their work on the internet, indoors instead of waiting in the car or waiting on the platform.
The cafe opened inside the disused Victorian ticket office and waiting room at Shawford Station, and it was brought back to life with help from South Western Railway and various other partners.
We are in a building that it was derelict and it's been restored to nice, very good standards, and we kept most of the original feature as much as we could possibly do of the original feature of the building. And that makes a difference as well.
The cafe aims to keep providing for the local community for many years to come. Kieran Tibbett, Winchester News Online.
And now to sports. In futsal, Winchester Seconds travelled to Southampton for their first game of the year. Reporter Elliot Norton takes us through the action.
Winchester wasted no time taking the lead, as a deflected shot fell to the feet of Billy Granger. Southampton were back level following a low-driven shot from inside their own half. Winchester got their lead back soon after, as Dan Omanuwa fired them ahead. Southampton struggled to retain possession, and after failing to clear the ball, Sam Friday fired in the third. Into the second half, and a quick move by Winchester made it 4-1. Southampton didn't give up hope, and 2 quickfire goals put them right back in the match. Southampton looked re-energised and pushed hard for an equaliser, but a long throw upfield to Sam Friday saw their dreams dashed as Winchester put the game beyond Southampton. The result was sealed as Winchester scored another just before full time, but captain Louis Saunders thought it wasn't his team's best performance.
Well, yeah, obviously 3 points is 3 points, but at the same time I feel like as a performance it wasn't excellent. I mean, weirdly enough, our last game in the cup against UE, where the final score wasn't very flattering to us, but we actually probably played better futsal against them. Today we had phases where we played well, where we kept the ball on the ground, and obviously we scored 6 goals, but at the same time I felt as though we were a bit lax.
Elliot Norton, Winchester News Online.
That's all we have time for this week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.